All right, we're coming to you from Boston College spring practice, where the Eagles just wrapped up spring practice for today. It's their fourth spring practice of this spring. This was the first full week of spring practice for the Boston College Eagles under Bill O'Brien. I'm John Sirianidis. As always, I'm joined by my partner, Kevin Stone. And Kevin, you've been here for all four practices. I want to start by talking about how the week has gone so far, and then we'll get into today's.
Well, you saw today, it looks and feels different. Again, I know it's only 3 days, 4 days now, but the vibe, the structure of practice, just the intensity, it feels different. And now, admittedly, we did not always see practice under Hafley, so it's tough to compare the full structure. But again, just from what you saw today, you can tell me if I'm crazy, but there is absolutely a different feeling and a different buzz.
Yeah, no question. I mean, you bring up a good point. We were only allowed to watch about 20 minutes under Jeff Hafley, so it was hard to tell, how practice flowed. You can stay for this entire practice under Bill O'Brien, so we get a better sense of what his practice is like. It's not fair to compare them.
No.
Where I do agree with you, though, is, you don't have the hype guy on the microphone. You don't have any of that. It's very much, and I think you said this, and it's so true, it's very much like you're in camp. You're in training camp. It has like, that feel to it.
Yeah, it's like training camp, basically.
Yeah, in essence. So,
yep.
And again, I think Jeff Hafley had a lot of NFL experience on his staff. He had NFL experience. O'Brien and this staff have NFL experience. So you're seeing that. You definitely see it in the way practice flows and operates. You've seen it with both coaches. But having been around the Patriots in recent years, there's definitely a lot of Patriots feel there. Who are some guys so far through 1 week that have impressed you, that have caught your attention?
Jerron Bradley, I believe it is. I might be.
Yeah, Jerron Bradley, the transfer from Texas Tech.
Yeah, he looks the part. BC's not had a big receiver like him, and I don't know how long. Zay was obviously a superstar, but as BC women's lacrosse scores, he was a superstar, Zay was, but again, the size. I don't remember them having a guy like him. Another transfer, Kamari Morales, tight end, built like a moose. Very impressive. Trayshawn Ward, running back, another transfer. Basically,
all the Florida State. And State.
So basically, all the portal guys are coming as advertised, and another transfer guy who is behind Tommy Castellanos, but personally, I think has looked great for 4 days, is Grayson James, the quarterback from FIU. Again, just looks the part. This team is more athletic. I think the receiving group is probably their deepest group. Dino Tallman might be a fifth or sixth receiver right now. He was their 2 or 3 last year, you could argue. So I think that's the deepest group that they have. I think the running back group is very, very deep. We just talked to Kai Robichaux. He called himself and Trayshawn a nice 1-2 punch. So there's a lot to be encouraged with. Again, I keep saying this. I know it's only March, but there is a lot more talent here than people realize. And that's to Jeff Hafley's credit.
I was going to say, that's the Hafley's credit in that staff, because they had a top 10 portal class.
Yeah, no, he did not leave the cupboard bare by any means.
No, and you and I were talking about that as we were coming in, that one of the things you've been stressing all week, Kevin, is that portal class, it's just those guys just look different. But the other thing that I think is important is, despite the coaching change and the uncertainty, you can tell the returning guys put a lot of time in the weight room this winter. I mean, they're bigger, they're faster, they're stronger. Two guys that really popped to me today, coming off the edge, Donovan Ezaraku, Neto Paula. Both of them look really good, and they look like they're going to be terrific fits in new defensive coordinator Tim Lewis's scheme.
Neto has been flying off the edge for 2 straight days. Wednesday and this morning, or Friday this morning. I can't remember what date it is.
You've been here so much that they're all blending in.
It's unbelievable. No, he looks slimmed down. I don't know if you thought that as well.
He looks terrific from where he was last year.
So I'm really interested to see, again.
Not that he was out of shape last year, by the way. He looked the part last year, too, but he definitely looks more explosive.
Yes.
And definitely he's leaned up.
And what stood out to me defensively today and Friday as well was the run defense. They've been just stuffing runs several times each practice. Again, you saw it today for the first time. The run defense looks like it's going to be much better,
Yeah, and when you look at what they're bringing back, I mean, Bryce Steele, Cam Arnold, We mentioned D6.
Yep.
Neto. I mean, they've got a lot of talent coming back. Cam Horsley inside. That front seven's going to be really good.
Yeah.
It's going to be a strength of this team. Another strength of this team is going to be the offensive line.
Yep.
We forget that other than Kyle Hergel, they bring everybody back.
And Mahogany, obviously.
And Mahogany.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yep.
that's a big loss. But
3 out of the 5 are back.
3 out of the 5 are back,
Yep.
and the depth guys are back. Conley's back. Alec is back.
Yep.
Hess is back. That's huge for a team that, if we go back to 2 years ago, Kevin,
Yep.
struggled up front.
100%. And again, I go back to Matt Applebaum. A lot of people criticize that signing or that hiring last year to a man, and they said it numerous times last year. Every offensive lineman in that room loves Matt Applebaum and knows, more importantly, that he can probably get them to the next level if they want to get there.
And he's been to the next level.
Correct.
He knows how
So
to get there.
that continuity, and fans will remember 2 years ago just what a disaster it was with all the injuries. You know, the word continuity gets thrown around a lot, but it is massive, and this team has it this year.
You know, one of the positions that caught my attention today was the tight end position.
Yep.
You know, you mentioned Kamari Morales. You got Matt Regan. You've got Colton Simmons. Obviously, Jeremiah Franklin. That's a talented group.
Huge.
And I think that the tight end position was kind of a position that was in flux during the Hafley era. It's going to be a focal point of this offense. Those guys are going to be involved both in the run game and in the pass game. They're going to play a much bigger role in the offense this season.
The thing for the tight ends for me is you haven't had a productive year out of any of them since Hunter Long.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what's that, 2018? 19, I think it was, my first year covering the team. So if you have 3 guys at least right now.
It was the COVID year, actually, 2020.
About Franklin, it stood out to me, and obviously we don't want to give away any state secrets, but I think you're going to see a lot more of him than you did under Hafley. And that's not to say that they wasted him, but it felt like they could just never sort of find the right role for him last year. It feels like Will Wine, the new offensive coordinator, and Bill O'Brien are going to find uses for him. And then obviously Morales, again, I keep calling him a moose. BC hasn't had a tight end built like him in I don't know how long. So I think they're going to be very productive.
And we're talking about the Patriot system on offense, right? And you can see a lot of those concepts here.
Yep.
But I think it's important to note, remember now, 12 personnel has been a big part of that offense. Under the Belichick era, Bill O'Brien comes from that school of thought. You know that they're going to be a big multi-tight end team again. And that's great to see because this has been a football program that has produced offensive linemen and tight ends through the years.
Yeah.
It's nice to see that they're going back to their roots a little bit. Going back to the defense real quick before we wrap up, just some thoughts on the back seven. Obviously, you're bringing back Amari Jackson, Cole Batson. There's a lot of guys back there that got a lot of playing time last year, a lot of experience. What have you seen from them so far?
Friday in particular, Jackson and Jalen Williams both had a very, very good day. PBUs all over the place. Another local guy that we haven't talked enough about, Max Tucker.
He was terrific today.
Particularly in the running game.
Yeah.
He's been flying down, coming just from the backfield. And again, I keep saying it, it's only March, but there's reason to be confident. And legitimately every position group on this team, particularly that secondary, though. There's a lot of guys with a chip on their shoulder who can fly around and make plays in both the running game and the passing game.
A lot of versatility, too, at the receiver position and the running back position. I think you're going to see a lot of guys going back and forth, playing multiple roles, playing in the slot and in the backfield as well. And look, just to wrap it up here, obviously, we can talk about vibe all we want. The bottom line is it's about wins and losses. And I think Boston College is off to a good start in the Bill O'Brien era. Obviously, we still have, 10 or 11 practices left to go. Spring game is going to be on April 13th. So we'll have a better evaluation of where this program is then, but you got to like the talent. You got to like the start here for the Boston College Eagles. That will do it for our post-practice spring visit special. I'm John Sirenides. That's Kevin Stone. We'll talk to you next time. We'll see you in a couple weeks out at UMass, and in 3 weeks we're going to be out at UConn. Until then, peace.
See ya.